Hey everybody, welcome back to Women Carry Knives. On the table in front of us is a knife that was actually sent in by a friend, a subscriber who follows the channel. And I'm actually really happy to have this. So what are we looking at? We are looking at the Kizer Vanguard series Splinter. And it's a collaboration with Tomcat Knives. Now, this is a really fun knife. Now, you guys know I love my pokey, stabby, and my small knives. I'm going to actually call this kind of a medium size. It's small, but yet it's medium in a very thin way. That's a good way to describe it. This has been an absolutely fun knife to have around. I've been having a blast with it. I was told that all the knives are users, so feel free to go ahead and use it. Of course, we don't use it on anything that's, real heavy use. And this one I wouldn't use on a heavy use, but I have carried around. I have used it to cut cardboard. I sat down and cut some paracord just to see what it was like with it. Obviously, I had to use it at work on some boxes. And I did use it to chop up a little twig just to see, twig branch. I mean, it's more of a twig. It wasn't very big, but just to see how it would work. And you know what? I loved it. It was great. It is still just as sharp as it was. Just a fabulous, fabulous knife. So we'll start off by saying that these normally go for $67.50, which is a really good price. What do you get with that? Well, you get an N690 blade. You're going to get a flat grind with this. Beautiful flat grind. It's nice and sharp, very thin. I really, really love that. The handle is going to be a green canvas micarta. Beautiful green canvas micarta. Has texturing that feels really good because you have kind of that milling on the handle, right? And it just feels really, really good in hand. I am absolutely, even though it is so small, or should I say more thin, it still feels really, really good. Now, the only thing is the pocket clip is a deep carry pocket clip. It is stainless steel. It is a little bit of a hot point for me just because of where it sits. So it's going to sit right here. And if I grip it in my hand real tight, you can, I don't know if you can see the lines, but it kind of lays right here. So it is a little bit of a hot point, but if I'm not using it a whole lot, it's not a problem. Now, I probably would be one to go ahead and take the clip off if I was going to use it a lot. For my lefties out there, you do have some lefty love. So it is a tip up right or left hand carry. You do have access to, or ability, I should say, to put a lanyard on here, which I do like that. Now, I'm not a lanyard user, but you do actually have the ability there. And what I do like about it is that your lanyard hole is not just the hole there, but you also have kind of the groove in here, so your lanyard's going to sit a little more flush in there. And that's kind of different because you don't see that a lot. And that is really nice. I do like that. You are going to have stainless steel liners in here. And these are, I guess, they are milled out. So it is going to give you a bit lighter of a weight. This is a liner lock. Sits very, very, I can't think of the word I'm looking for.
I wasn't listening. Sorry.
It's the blade, centered. Oh my God, that is terrible. Therapeutic Edge is laughing at me over there. Centered very nicely. I do like that even though the blade goes to the end, I do love the fact that you are not getting caught on it at all, because I have had knives where I've actually caught the tip of the blade. So that is really nice. As I said, it is a flipper. Now, interestingly enough, there is no jimping on this knife. So your flipper tab is not going to have jimping. There's no jimping on the back of the spine. There's no jimping on your liner lock. Yet this is really, really comfortable. I don't feel that it really needs that jimping. And of course, your liner is going to sit up a little proud on this side, so it is cut out. If you guys can see that, it is cut out. So it does give you a little easier access to that liner lock right there. This has been really, really smooth. Now, I did not check to see if this was running on bearings or washers. I do believe it's bearings, but do not quote me on that because I would have to actually look that up. The slim design is, I think for larger hands, it seems to me that for larger hands are going to have a little bit tougher of a time with this because it is going to make it really small. However, I would compare this to almost like a paring knife size. So it's going to be made to be a smaller knife. I would actually take something like this fishing with me too, because I think this would be a great gutting knife, or, you know, for a smaller fish. Now, hopefully you're going to catch bigger ones, but it would fillet also very nicely. So this would be really fun to have with you. It would be great in the kitchen. I did cut some sausage with it. Yes, I did. And it's like a tactical sausage. It just cuts through like a banana. It is so sharp and so smooth, and I've just been loving it. It rides in the pocket like an absolute dream. Sits nice and low. Again, I love that. I don't like my knives to be sticking out. And generally, because as a lady or female or whatever, a woman, our jeans tend to, for those of us that don't wear the high-waisted ones, my jeans tend to sit lower on my hips, which means when I sit down, my knives tend to hit my leg and maybe pop up out of my pocket a little bit. This one, however, did not do that. This was really comfortable. Like I said, I was super, super happy with it and absolutely loving it. So I would love to add one of these to my collection. Let's take a look at some of the specs. We can talk about the specs. Your blade length is going to be about 3 1/4 inches in length, and with 3 1/2 inches with like just over 3 1/4 inch cutting edge. All right, your handle is going to be roughly if we back it up a little bit, we're looking at just about between 4 and 4 1/4. So 4 1/8. Let's call it 4 1/8, which is going to give you about an overall length of about 7 1/2 inches. So that's a really good size, you know, lengthwise. Now, if we compare that to the bug out, you can see here I consider the bug out to be a medium-sized knife. So we're also going to call that one's medium. The only reason I feel that it almost feels smaller in hand is definitely because it's a thinner profile, right? So on both ends, your blade's going to be thinner and your handle is going to be thinner, okay? If we want to take a look at that next to and I try to pick knives that most people know of for a comparison. Take a look at that next to the Rat 2 there. You can see the Rat 2 I do consider a small to medium-sized knife, so we're still in kind of the same size range. Say that 3 times fast. Let's take a look at it next to the Rat 1, which is a large knife and a little dirty. Obviously, it is not a large knife. So, is it fun? Absolutely. Is the fidget factor there? I absolutely love it. Really, you guys, the only complaint, and the micarta on this is it feels really good. It's very soft, I'm going to say. So I can tell that this knife has been used because of the way the micarta feels. He has to have used this one a lot. It feels just fabulous. It's interesting that usually I prefer jimping on a knife, but as I said, there is no jimping whatsoever anywhere, and yet this is so comfortable. Even choking up on this one is really, really comfortable, and I do like that. It is only 2.35 ounces, so it is very light, and actually is very comparable to the weight of a bug out. So for those of you that are familiar to weight of a bug out, you know, that's a good weight. Good weight for something this size. I'm really, really surprised. Would I suggest this one? You know, I absolutely would. I love the look of it. I love the feel of it. I love how it's got enough texture, enough kind of milling in the micarta here that it gives you that grip. It gives you a good feel. And again, even though it is a medium or small to medium sized knife, it just feels fantastic in hand. So depending on how you're going to hold it, you know, sometimes I hold it back more. Sometimes I kind of hold it in hand. Sometimes I choke up even more on it. It just depends on what I'm doing. But all around, this one has been very comfortable in hand and very comfortable to use. Has been very sharp. Has been. This is one that I would carry a lot with me. I think it's absolutely fantastic. So, to my friend who has sent this intro review, thank you so much for allowing me to get my hands on this one. You guys are actually going to see more come out from this person. He actually sent me 4 or 5 Kizers. I cannot remember in total, but you're going to see them all come out, and I really do like each one of them for their own reasons. You know, there's their own reasons. So you'll be seeing more of those. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Hey, do me a favor, hit that like button on the way out. If you're not a subscriber, I already said this, but go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'd love to have you here all the time. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave it down in the comments section. You know I love talking to you. And until next time, thanks for joining me.